Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Escape from Tarkov 16 as we call it in the community. 0.16 is the what's the version at the moment? 0.16.02 point whatever. It's 0 point because it's not the full release of the game yet, obviously. Nikita tweeted something like Q2 2025, so people are kind of speculating that that's the date that he has the release in his mind. But yeah, we've been hearing that for a few years. So as for this wipe, big changes have happened, obviously. The flea market was not available for the first 2 weeks of the game, and that's sort of where we are now. We are at 2 weeks at the game. So either tomorrow or the day after, I believe on January 9th, the flea market will become available. That was a big change, because that meant you could not just buy things for your hideout, for instance, to upgrade your stations. And even if the flea market would be available, that would not be possible, because also another change is that everything in the hideout needs to be found in raid. Now, if we look into my hideout, this is sort of where we are. We are level 21, 22, playing solo. Let me have a look to be exact. How many raids did we do? 189 we have done over the last 8-9 days. We are level 21 or 22. I didn't even bother too much with the quests yet. Because I play, in the beginning of a wipe, I usually play 2 to 1. I play 2 PMC runs, 1 scav run. As soon as I have my Intel Center level 1, then it will bring down the scav cooldown with like 16%. Then I usually play 1 to 1 for a while, meaning 1 PMC run, 1 scav run. When it comes to looting, and that's sort of what this will be, a sort of a looting guide, where do you find all these things for your hideout? I saw Pestily posted a video the other day, was it the day or yesterday? The ultimate found in raid loot guide. He's sending you guys to factory and reserve, and then I think like, it's been a while since he has done a proper loot guide, which was actually pretty good. Now, I'm a fan of Pestily. I'm subscribed to him for like 40 months or whatever on Twitch. 3 years and something. But lately, I don't know. Lately he's a bit of a rush grinder, and he rushes XP, try to get his quiz done as quickly as possible. And for him, a scav run means going into factory, run to the extract, and on your way out, you pick up some things left and right. 2 minutes in, and he goes out. He's just scavving his scav karma. What's your scav karma? That's your reputation with fence. In my case, I have 1.44. Easily can get that up if I want to by taking out some cars. I think in all the 9 days that we played so far, I think I've took like 2 cars out. And the first time you take a car, I think it's 0.40 that you get. And then 25, 13, 8, it's always diminishing return. So you take 5 cars on every of the maps where a car is available, which is about 6 or 7 by now, I think, which have a car extraction. You can get it up to 4.5 to 5 scav rep already, with 6 being the number that you're looking for eventually. Fence is the guy which only has level 1, and then the crown level, which is actually level 4. If you look at any of the other traders, they have 4 different levels. But Fence has 1 and then the maximum level. And the maximum level you get by reaching reputation 6.0. You can take cars, you can take co-op extractions, PMC and scav together to get there. And that's all fine. Next to that, I saw that he was sending you to reserve, underground hermetic. That's all fine, but then you need 4 different keys. Because there are indeed a lot of good supply crates, but you need RB PSP1, PSP2, RB PSV1 and PSV2. There's 4 different keys that you need. If you have all 4 of those keys, yes, for sure, then you can go to the hermetic underground. All kind of supply crates in those cages, but you need to be open the cages. That's why you need those keys, which is a bit of a problem. Talking about keys, we have some customs keys that we get our hands on, either by barter trade or we actually found them. We found a lot of street skiers, although I only played 1 or 2 street raids so far because of the longer queue matchmaking when you play a scav on streets. Streets is very good for looting whatever, except for tank battery and vertex. You can probably find everything there. But it also has long matching times because of the fact that everybody knows the good is really loot over there, so everybody's matchmaking on that map. So early wipe, I would say that the best map for looting is customs. Now, we all know Pestily doesn't like customs that much, he hates Lighthouse. But if I would put an order for where you're going to find the best loot early wipe, I would say Streets, Customs, Lighthouse. Which are like, you can find specific things on interchange, like you're going to find more drills and motors there in the back of Idea. You will be able to find food on Goshen, but everybody knows that. So if you have a bad spawn on interchange, then it's very possible when you arrive on Goshen that all the squash and all the low small tuchankas and the high tuchankas, all those things that you need for all kind of stuff for either quests or barter trades, most of the time the shelves are empty. So then it's better to go to a bigger map and take your time with your scav to actually loot. You have nothing to lose if you play with your scav. It's not even your gear that it just go out. Of course, it could be a bit annoying if you get a small rig and a small backpack. That's where the reputation of the scav karma comes in again. The higher the scav karma, the better gear you will get. That doesn't necessarily mean better guns but you will get guns with a suppressor or with a sight instead of with an iron sight. You will get a backpack, a bigger rig, the higher your reputation is. In the beginning you will probably get a bank robber and a VBO backpack or something. Smallest backpack available, the smallest rig available. But as your reputation goes up, you will get maybe something like this. Well, probably not a Gazelle, but something like this gear-wise, and then probably a headset as well, and so on. So how did we get this hideout the way we have it here? It's pretty much level 2, especially around this side it's level 2. Illumination is level 3 already, Vents is level 3, which are the maximum levels in your hideout, except for Stash, which can go to level 4. We have opened the door and we have built the gym. That's a lot of bolts and nuts and tool sets and all that stuff that you need to find. And now we are sort of stuck on the workbench, and that's because I haven't been specifically looking for tech crates, because I need more tool sets and motors and drills, which I found quite a lot, but then I sort of stopped doing that sort of potting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 runs. We will do offline runs, so I will point you specific items on 2 different maps. First one will be Streets, where we're mainly gonna look for medical items and computer items. And the second map will be Customs, where we will look for tech and tool sets, and in combination with some stashes. Customs used to have 27 stashes which were fixed. Now they are dynamic, but there are 65 different stashes on a rather smaller map. You have 70 plus stashes on Shoreline, but it's a larger map. The Customs just runs smoother in general as a map, not necessarily performance wise, especially this wipe, since they have updated it and it's not really optimized, or performance is not that great at the moment. The same of course goes for Streets, but loot wise they are probably the 2 best maps, especially early wipe. So we'll start, we're gonna run a, let's say a scav run, although we will run with PMC, we'll do an offline run. We'll enable the offline, we're gonna put everything off that nothing bothers us. This is purely about loot locations, where can you find things within a rather dense area and still find a lot of stuff. Depends a bit where we spawn, of course. Let's start with Streets, which loot-wise is definitely, value-wise, it's definitely the best map. So it should load a local game normally. And I will point out some stuffs. The first thing is, this map has a pretty long time. As I'm not mistaken, unless they changed it this wipe, I actually didn't pay attention to it, but normally it's 50 minutes. 50 minutes is a long time. So unlike Pestily, who sort of runs through factory in 2 minutes, and that's his scav run, we are going to use that time on our scav. If you play as a scav, you probably spawn in sometimes with 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 28 minutes, something like that on streets, which means you pretty much have a full rate to do whatever you want. Everybody knows people will go, especially the players, the PMCs, will go to car dealer, they will go to check 15, they will go to post office. All very good, and that's fine. We might also end up there, but at the end. In the last 10 minutes you go to those places, which decreases your chances of running into a squad or whatever, because those guys will be running in the first 15-20 minutes of the game. So my advice on the streets, if you do a scav run and you actually want to make it out with some decent loot, loot more on the outside of the map, where not so much PMC activity will be happening. Of course, be aware of certain quests in certain buildings where people might be. And then later on, when the things are quiet, if you don't hear a lot of shooting on post office check 15, then you can also check it with your scav. You will be surprised what you find something there, because some people are very bad at looting. And that means you have no idea what they leave behind. This is not the best spawns for what I wanted, but we'll go with it. Because we mainly want to look at the other side there, behind the car dealer side and whatnot. So that's where we sort of will go, and I will show you some pointers. Now you can run, there are a few stashes on this square, for instance. There are also some stashes over there that you can quickly pick up. On our left we have the car dealer here. This is one of the hotspots. As a scav you don't want to be there. If Caban spawns you already have a problem. The first thing, food and drinks, especially for Jaeger and so. Look for the white trucks. If there is a crate next to a white truck, which there will be in 3 different locations, if you need food and drinks, that's those places. So the Iskras and all that thing. Aquamari, peas, what's needed for one of the Christmas quests, cigarettes, all that kind of stuff in this crate. On the corner here, our first pharmacy. There can be a medbag over here, there can be a medbag over here. That's where you find your medical syringes. They spawn here like crazy, as you can see. This is an offline rate now, but it's the same in online. So those are 2 locations. Potential medbag over here is 3. There is one in the corner here. That's 4. Every of these pharmacies can have 5 to 6 medbags. As you can see, here is number 5. We just have a bandage now, but it is what it is. Every single of those can have a potential LEDX. I found 10 to 12 LEDXs last wipe playing on my scav here on streets. There's also a stash in some of these bushes here. You can also just go through there and then through the bar. There is another truck with a crate next to it, also again food. And then there is another one all the way in the back on the tunnel extraction thing. There is also a truck with a food. A same thing here, also a stash over here in this bush potentially. On the right we have Pinewood Hotel. Obviously was not the best spawn, so you actually want to spawn somewhere on the cardinal area. That would be ideal for the route you want to do. Eventually you end up in the back of the post office. That's where you want to end up. But seeing this is a offline raid, I can show you the locations. Don't take this potting, for instance, when you're online. Pharmacy number 2. Same story again. Medbags, syringes, blood sets, toothpaste, LEDXs, all that kind of stuff can be found on here. There should be 2 or 3 over here. There can be a medbag over here. There can be loose med spawns over here. There's also a computer. That's what we're mainly looking for here, is computer and med spawns. That's why you go to streets as a scav. There are a couple more medbags over here, as you can see. Meds, you need a bunch of those for crafting, so that's one of those things. Med tools as well, always pick them up. There were also 4 or 5 now of the potential soap. All those things that you need for your laboratory can be found over here. And there's one more here. So also in this pharmacy there are 6 potential vitamins, also something you need. And the stims, of course. SJ6, SJ1, PNB, 3BTG. Morphines very often can be found if you're stuck on your morphines. Check the pharmacies on streets. I'm just picking up what all of these things that you need for either crafting or hideout. We're obviously not picking up any of the bandages or so. You can just buy those. Behind the post office over here, behind check 15 over there. Now, we're not gonna loot the filing cabinets, but I'm gonna point them out because there are more than 150 filing cabinets on this map. There are also 32 stashes, which people always forget about on streets, and you should not do that because that's where you pretty much, if you only loot stashes on your way in and out on streets, there's a very good chance that you have every single of the streamer's items before you're level 20. Then you don't have to worry about the collector later on, you will have every single item. And there is so many people, here's already one, as you can see. There are so many people who are running by these stashes because they don't even think about salt needed for your nutrition station. I'm gonna pick some things up of which I need, of which you know that you need them. Med tools, a lot of, some of them are used. Syringes, pick them up. As soon as the flea market becomes available, this is one of the items which is gonna go very high. We go in, we are in the back of tar bank, as I will show you. This is the tar bank office. If you find the tar bank key, both of these doors open with the key. There are 2 safes and 2 cash registers. They are full of money. Rubles, USD, or euros. You will find several thousand rubles, 20,000 rubles is no problem. And then a couple of €100 and a couple of $100 in every of these openings. Over here we already have 8 filing cabinets. We're still over here on the parking lot here. Also over here can be a stash. Check 15, you can loot that if you want, but there might be running into PMCs. There is another stash here in the debris sometimes. You can see if the door is open. If the door is not open, then it's probably not looted. There's a jacket on there. On the suitcase over there might be stims. And there is another filing cabinet here, which has about 8 filing cabinets, I think. This truck over here, also something people do not know. There is a weapon crate in there. In the back, in the corner very often, and it very often has parts you need for gunsmith quests. Several parts can be found in there for gunsmith, in that crate. Most people don't even know there is a crate in there. Now it's not there because everything is dynamic, more or less. You have the ladder in the corner here. Another stash. Noodles, also needed for his press. Guns. Yeah, the stashes on streets are another dimension than other stashes. They can have everything. They can have helmets, they can have slicks, gazelles, any armor, any backpack, any gun, any streamer's item can be found over there. And now we're gonna do quickly 3 buildings. Mainly focused on filing cabinets. Especially would say go to reserve, not really. There are another 8 over here. Another 4 over there. A safe which can be opened this wipe. Previous wipe was locked. Over here you can find your lions and all of those things. Veritas guitar pick, flash drives, as you can see. And then over here, that's the next one. Another 4 filing cabinets on the ground and 12 over there. So all these filing cabinets over here, very close range. Nearby the next building. This is pretty much a run-through building in a way, but there is a jacket over here. Always can be looted. This is the bar. The skybridge key needed for a couple of quests is always here. If it's not, then somebody looted it. We're gonna cross the road, because now we're mainly focusing on computers. Before we go into this building here, we're gonna check another stash. Right here on the corner, potentially. But first we're also gonna check something else. Run through this building. This is the archive buildings. You could check in these rooms. There might be morphines there. It's medical items. Over there, behind the corner there, is the veterinary office that can also have stims and morphines. And then here we have the school. The school can have 6 different medbags. That's 1, potentially 2, potentially 3 and 4, and then another one there is 5. In this case there are only 2 of them, so there could be 6, with also not here. Don't be surprised that you find analytics in one of these. So this is like 2 pharmacies and then this school. That's already 15-16 medbags that you can check. And then if you go upstairs, we are talking about duffel bag city. Every single of these benches can have a duffel bag. If you play online, you will see there could be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Another one here. Duffel bags are also very good for hideout items. As you can see, bolts, blue tapes. Just picking up things. Pick up some food and drink, we might need it. Another duffel bag here. So yeah, there are about 10 duffel bags up here. Sugar, also, yeah. I don't think sugar is gonna go very high this wipe because of all that Christmas stuff, and there was a lot of Christmas trees around. Now we're gonna focus on 2 buildings over here, mainly this one here and the astronaut building, and the focus here will be on PCs. And why on PCs? Because there are 4 right in here. You can also go to post office. I did 2 or 3 streets runs this wipe so far. 7-8 minute queue, but I found 2 GPUs already. That's why it gives you the thing, because it's actually my 3rd GPU for mechanic, for farming. CPU fans, SSDs, you name it. The bed body can also have good stuff. So there are already 4 computers right here. A duffel bag right here sometimes, and then another 12 filing cabinets. Opening this door. Going to the astronaut building, where we can find another 5 or 6 computers and a safe. And as you can see, we have never been between post office or check 15. We have never been in those hotspots. We haven't been in the car dealer. But you can see where we're going to come out with here, right? This is basically 10 computers in 2 buildings. in combination with filing cabinets. Another 4 filing cabinets over here and 2 computers. DVD, need one for rest space. So I'll pick it up for now, might drop it later. Another DVD. Another filing cabinet, another computer. Moving on, next building. Door opens, another computer. Duffel bag can be here as well, another duffel bag there. Which leaves us with this room. Filing cabinet, food, and sometimes Tims on the table. Another computer. So we've done about 10 computers here in 2 buildings which are close next to each other. And then there is still a safe. Diaries, Golden Skull, let's rub the noodles. Christmas balls, not so interesting anymore because I think either today or tomorrow the Christmas tree will be gone. Usually January 7th or 8th the Christmas tree disappears out of your hideout, and probably also the ones which have been around on the map. Now, let me see where the Stylobate building elevator. Stylobate. Stylobate building elevator. I think that's just a fancy renaming of the shopping mall. Coming out of the building, stash in the corner potentially. Behind this air venting or whatever it is, could also be a stash. Kamskatskaya building. You can check all these things for some high value loot, but it's mainly the one in the corner here which can spawn ravens, golden skulls, rollers, things like that. And then we go upstairs. Couple of jackets here. A gold spawn under the bed here. Gold spawn on this seat potentially, and then sometimes on the table as well. Customs or so can be found here. Lions very often sitting on this seat. Never checked because people are too busy looting the post office and the check 15 and whatnot. But we're sort of, in a way, a bit on the outside of the map. Now we need to be a bit paying attention, like for instance this is the Expo extraction. Some people might want to take it. So if there are still PMCs on the map, if you play as a scav, you might run into some of them. If they have something good and they want to extract a little bit safe, they might come to Expo. Corner in this bush here, potential stash, and also behind the tree, between the tree and the bush there is another potential stash. Jump into this building. Could be another medbag in that corner over there, and there is also one on the table here. So that's another 2 medbags. More meds, we have enough meds already. Coming out of here, we have the 3 benches here on the right, the middle bench behind it, potential stash right here. We'll We'll have some food. Also right here in the next to the post here can also be a stash. Stashes don't seem to spawn very often in offline, but they are there though. Over here, check on the ground and also in the ambulance. It might have morphines or any other stim for that matter. There's a weapon crate over there, and in that corner there on the bush is also another stash. But we're gonna go up to check the third pharmacy. So we basically have done 3 pharmacies and 2 computer buildings, let's say, without having been anywhere close to the car dealer. We spawned there now, but if you can spawn somewhere on this side, this is what you do. This is your potting that you do, and then you get out. You should always have something like near Camp Katskaya or the shopping mall. Any of those extractions as a scav, you usually have one of those too, so you can get out here. Also in this pharmacy, 6 potential medbags. There could be one here on the ground or on the counter behind here. There could be one on this box. There could be one here as it is now. There could also be one on this desk here. Another one here on the sofa. As you can see, there is your morphine. That's pharmacy, pharmacy, a painkiller. I mean, it leads into pharmacist, but some splints and everything like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential med bags over here as well. So yeah, you can find your stims, you can find your lead exits in those 3 pharmacies that we have done now. People always say go labs, one of these doors open, so don't know which one. Oh, this one. Some of these ambulances, there is like one quest where you need to pick up something out of an ambulance on the streets, but it doesn't tell you which one. It could be in here, for instance. Could be on all kind of... you can also loot these apartments, filing cabinets up there, some other stuff. Can we even go through this one? I don't know. Yeah, we can apparently. That's perfect. We're sort of back of Pinewood now, the shopping mall, the Beluga. There is a dead body in there, I think, and also some filing cabinets, so also might have some decent loot. Every of the rooms can have decent loot on streets, obviously, but we are specifically looking for medbags and computers in this one. There could be some computers sometimes, but not very often. Usually you find some loot over here on the table, but what you mainly want to check is the back room here. This one can have on the table, it can have stims, it can have intel, bitcoins, rollers. This is like a high value spawn somewhere on this table or even on the ground, so check always this if you come by here. It's just a little detour from the road, so it's worth checking. That could be just that one roller that you need for your scav case or something like that, or your intel for your intelligence center. Now I'm thinking Stylabate building elevate. Oh yeah, we're playing as a PMC. Normally you potentially could have the shopping mall as your extraction. We have the elevator in the Beluga office now. I believe you can either jump or vault over here. Probably vault, it's vault. There we go. And then we're in it. So in this case we have to go up and take the elevator out, pretty much. If you do have the Beluga key, you can always check the office over there. And there we go. We find all of kind of medical items. We found, we didn't even check these filing cabinets, I just pointed them out, but that's where you can find your bolts, your nut, nixers as well. Nixers very often in the filing cabinet in streets, and you need 8 for your hideout, found in raid. Helixes, same story. So mainly medical items. The 3 pharmacies and the school in total can have 20 med bags. That's where you will find your morphines, your med tools, your meds, your Salewas if you're lucky in the beginning for therapists, Ledixes. I think I found 10 or 12 Ledixes just checking the pharmacies on my scav last wipe. You need 1 for med station level 3, you need 1 for crisis and 2 for private clinic, so you need 4 found in raid Ledixes. If you don't want to go to Schnorrline or to labs, then streets is the way to go. The pharmacies. So yeah, GPUs. This is like the 3rd GPU that I found on my 3rd raid on streets. Now this was an offline raid. The other 2 were online when I was streaming. We did the same route pretty much. We checked the 2 computer buildings, and we found in both of those runs that we did, we found the GPU in one of the computers. You can of course go to labs. There are 42 computers or something. But yeah, you might also run into Harry Potter over there. So that's one option. Any computer stuff, I would say go there. You have the astronaut building. You have then the building between the astronaut and the bar. Then you go from the bar, you go to archives, where you have I think about 30 filing cabinets in one building. And then if it's late raid, if it's like, let's say, the last 5-6 minutes into the raid, you can still check post office bottom floor. There are another 5 computers, 1 in the front office and 4 in the back office. 6 even, because there is also upstairs. So yeah, there are more computers. There are like 15 computers in buildings which are next to each other. People always say for computer stuff, oh, go interchange. I don't agree with that. Yes, there are 3-4 offices which have computers, but one is all the way west of the map, the other one is in the middle, and the other one is all the way east. Here you have 3 buildings next to each other which have 15 computers in total. So if you don't want to go labs, streets is the way to go for computers. Medbags, 3 pharmacies in the school, they could have 20 medbags in there. They are dynamic, that's the problem. But the problem is even bigger on the other map where we go now, which is customs. This case, we're looking more for toolboxes and tech rates to find all of these bolts and nuts and car batteries and things like that. That's what we will do now. So we go again. This time we go customs. We'll go 6 in the morning, I guess. We'll do the same thing, nothing bothering us. And we'll do a loot run. In this case, we'll do the tech rates, but I will also combine it with, if we ever pass a stash, potential stash location, I will point it out. There are 65 on this map. So we might take our time on this one, because it depends a bit on which side of your spawn. If you're spawning more on the, let's say if you come from big red side and you go more to the left side, you're going to find more stashes. If you go more to the right side, the stronghold area and whatnot, you're going to find more tech rates and toolboxes. So it depends a bit where you spawn. A few things have been changed on custom specifically. The med crates, the computers, the dead bodies, all of those things, it's all dynamic now. We went to streets now where we had these 3 buildings with 15 computers. We also have computers on this map, but they are dynamic now. Half the time they are not there. I think they're testing the whole dynamic system on customs. On the new customs, they are testing it. They have made everything dynamic. The jacket as well. So it's very hard to find potential keys and so, because half of the time they are not available. Where are we? Not great. Well, not bad either. We're on checkpoint. So let's start over here, because this is more the stash side of things. So behind we have the checkpoint where sometimes, very often, is a sniper on. There used to be at one point in time, if that sniper was not up, you had one sitting up the rocks there, but I haven't seen him in like ages. Is he still around? I don't think so. Military base checkpoint over there. Here on this tree here. Stash location number 1, potentially. Now they have put some extra sandbags and things over here. I don't know. The debris over here can have a stash right there. And then there's another one behind the blue container. Right there. This is the military base checkpoint, if you have that as a scav. We are running at the PMC now in an offline raid, but normally I do this route or this path in a scav, then that could be one of your extractions. You usually have something on that side. Either you have the corner there, military base, or you have behind checkpoint, scav checkpoint, or administration gate. It's all on that side. This is always a bit harder to find. The stash. Also here already some items you need for your hideout. Now we go towards the rocks. So there's already 4 stashes potentially there. Only one of them was there now. You go in between these rocks and then you look behind that tree over there. That one is not here, but there is also a wooden plank potentially. Now of course early wipe, this wipe with all that Christmas stuff going on, you could potentially get this involved. This is Santa's sleigh. It's always here, which is basically an airdrop. There is some stuff next to it. You can have some gifts. You can have some streamers items. This, how does that look like? A gift you need to extract with and then open it. There could be up to 4 things in there. This is Tamati. This is one of the 39 streamers items that you need to find for a collector. There's all kind of stuff. Also in between here can be something. And then you have the Santa sleigh itself, which is mostly guns and ammo. It's a festive airdrop supply. It can have pretty much everything that you're looking for. I found lions in here. I found a tank battery in here. I have found all kind of stuff here. More and more people, as the days passed, more and more people figured out that there was a Santa sleigh over here. If you call it an airdrop, it's also a Santa Fe. But this is a festive one. This is the result you can also get with when you have one of the purple flares, which is a festive airdrop. They have better stuff than the normal airdrop. A red flare gives you an airdrop. A purple flare will give you a festive airdrop, and it can have all kind of stuff, as you can see. Guns, ammo, gifts, fuel, streamers items, Betty Beard, lions I found in here. I found my tank battery in here. All on a scav. I did a scav yesterday. This thing was not looted. There was a tank battery in here. My extraction was scav checkpoint, which is not that far, but I still had to drop my backpack like 7 or 8 times because that tank battery is 80 kilograms. But hey, I have found a raid tank battery. But this is not a normal pot. There's another stash over here, potentially in the bush. And there is another stash over here in this bush. It's even here this time. Bulbs, we need those constantly. D batteries, I think you need like 2 D bats and 2 AA bats for one of the gunsmith part trades. You need a certain gun part and you can trade it with one of the traders. Over here on the rocks, another stash. So yeah, we've done already like what, 10 stashes here on this, and we're just still on the hill behind checkpoint and new gas. There is another med crate in this cabin. Now, early wipe, there is also a Christmas tree and a little Snowman over there as well. There could be a med crate over here. Now we're gonna sort it across the map. No, the fog is annoying, I know, but as you can see. Up and around New Gas are about 8 stashes. Most people know about 2, which were the original ones, but there are 8 stashes now. The first one is over here. There is another one behind the wall, which most people know because that was one of the original ones. You run next to the blue fence here in the tires. Could be a stash right here. One of these two could have a stash. Then this one behind the pipes people know about. This was one of the original 27. There's only a bit of a problem getting over this pipe nowadays. Helix, another one of those items you need. Some gear as well, obviously. Also here you don't have to jump over anymore because they opened this gap here. So you can just go through this from this side, but also from the other side you can vault on it and can get through it. It's where you don't need shortcut anymore. You don't need the factory key anymore. You don't need to jump over the car anymore because this is open, and also on top there on the railroad it's open now because they have opened the new buildings over there. Jump over, another stash next to the pipe, also something not many people know because it's one of the new dynamic spawns. It's not always here, of course they are dynamic, but you're just on your way. If you're messing around here on the new gas, you can as well check those stashes. There are 8 stashes around, which can have all the items that you're looking for at that moment. Ambulance, if you jump in, it can have the Emercom key, which is needed for a quest on interchange. You go onto these piles of tires here, another stash. Go onto the rocks here, another potential stash. Going towards bus stop. Couple of more stashes and then we cross and then we do the tech raids. Here, in this thing here, the pipe is, I don't know, it's broken or something. This pipe is no longer completely finished, which makes it easier to spot this stash, because before you had to actually look under the pipe. We also have the wonderful frostbite effect. Another one of those things they added that you ask, why did they do that? This one here, it's not here now, but it's probably the best stash on the whole place because this can have slicks and black rocks and things like that, usually in here. Usually, if it is there, it very often has some sort of gear. It could be like a pisspot backpack, but it could also be a very good armor. So that's always something, if you pause there, check it. Also here, stash. Ball bags. This fuel is needed for the Corovat mode to run the generators. It's one of the Christmas events. Go here, next to the pipe, another stash, also something not many people know. How many people, including big streamers, I see run by here looking for something specific and then they don't loot that stash, while you can see on their screen that it's actually there. And then the other ones are probably known, more specifically the one in this container. It's not very often here now with dynamic spawns, the others are more there. It's in the corner there if it is. Then I'm going to show you something else, which a lot of people haven't figured out. There's another stash here, by the way, which is a weird one, as you can see. This one is a little bit bugged. It shows up if you come from this side and then it disappears, but you can still loot it. So this one is a little bit bugged, but yeah, here we go. Fuel conditioner needed 4 found in raid for Ragman. The blue armor is needed for the Blueberry quest line. We're also gonna run to this car, and why are we gonna run to this car? Because something has changed over here. That body is dynamic, so it's not always here. It used to be always here, it is not. There is a safe here, it's not lootable. Not this wipe. This wipe, it is lootable, and not many people know. It doesn't seem to work on the offline, but it's lootable on online. I found lions in here, white Christmas balls, Veritas guitar pick, all the things, you know, flash drives, all the things you can find in any safe. But normally it was locked. This wipe they have opened it. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows. It's never looted. Well, some people might know now that they saw the video, but there's another stash somewhere in this pile. But sort of gives you an idea what kind of stashes amount you can find on that side. And it's pretty similar on that side, but that's not what we're going to do now. Now we're going to switch to the tech crates. Car batteries, fuel conditioners, defuel, all that kind of stuff. That's this place you need to be. We're going to start here. Now, it is a bit of a hotspot over here now. Dorms is no longer the hotspot of this map. The hotspot of this map is now that building. Because it's open, it has 1001 angles. You can also get on the sniper tower. You can also get on this construction thing here. You can get inside the building, different floors, different offices, also some crates in there. And then of course over there on mechanic they also opened both of the buildings. Tech crate is right here. So that's tech crate number 1. Another helix, you need 8 helixes for the hideout. Magnets are needed for some of the crafts. Matches and crickets are needed for heating. Jump over the wall. We have a very big tire over here. Check in there. Could be a stash. How many people I see run by this tire? Well, the stash is there. The new V40 grenade. Helmet. Bastion helmet. Screws. Also needed. Gonna jump on here. And we're gonna jump on here. And we're gonna jump on here. Tech crate number 2. Which offline doesn't work very well, but yeah, you get the idea. Online it works though. If it's quiet, if you're playing at the scap, it's late, right? You can always check this as well. Tech crate number 3. We're gonna get about 7-8 over here. Mid crate over here. Never know. Customs is also a map which people don't know. But customs is also a map which can spawn a Ledix. So all of these med crate. This is also meds. Another syringe. Soaps are mainly needed for your hideout in the beginning laboratory. This is also meds. So there are 2 medical ones here. The one in the corner is food. There could be another one on that side, also food. And then we have another 2 tech rates here. So tech rate number 4, meanwhile. This one is not here, but there could be one here. Also a toolbox over here. There is loose ammo on the ground here as well. That one is food. So we have 2 foods, 2 med crates, and 2 tech crates up there. And while you're here, check always this place here, in between the 2 beds over here. High value spawn. Loose ammo, duffel bags, loose ammo, moonshine sometimes on the bed as well. Over here, this is also meds, I think. Yep, it's also medical supplies, so another potential Salewes, no problem. Finding those guys, syringes. Gonna be good money one of the next days when the market opens. They are needed for barter trade for med cases. They are needed for all kind of crafts. Syringes is one of those things. Syringes and blue tapes are going to have a high value on the market because of the crafting situation, and also because for the hideout itself you don't need anything from the Flea anymore, because you need everything needs to be found in raid to build the stations. Seeing the new buildings is open. How many were we now? 4, 5, 6 tech rates already, I think, or 7. You can vault in here, and there's another one. This is medical, Vaseline, so another chance to find a LEDX. This is also the building underground. Let me show you. For those who don't know yet, this is where the co-op is. This building opens. You go in, you go left, and you go down, and then just follow the path. All the way down. And this is the co-op, what is called the boiler room basement. Some people might not know that yet. We're going back to where we were, pretty much. Just run in here, and you should be able to vault out as well. See, we could vault in. There we go. So a couple of med crates again that we did over here on this map. Checking this, tubes, elite pliers, metal scissors in this cabin very often, and also on top there you have the toolbox, and on the left there you can find motors, water filters, things like that also there. And while you come out of here, check the stashes. There could be one over here. There could be one over there. There could be one somewhere on this debris. I think it's over here next to the tree. And there could be another one over here under the plank. So there are also, if you come out of mechanic, quickly can check those 4 stashes as well. 2 more tech crates over here. Power cords, another one which is going to have a high value on the market, because that is needed to craft all the wires that you need. You need more than 100 wires. And this is also another tech crate. While you're here, obviously crack house. Could be morphines over here or on the ground, IFAX as well. Could be a med crate here with morphines. Yeah, there is also a Christmas tree over here. But that's specifically, that probably will be gone. Over here, dead body, if it's there, can be looted. The body itself can be looted. He can also have a roller on his wrist. And here, don't make the mistake here of just checking the shelves. That's what most people do. They're checking for an intel. They run into this library, they check the shelves, and they run back out. Don't make that mistake. The shelves can indeed have an intel, but it can also be anywhere in the ground of these pile of books. The same story here. A couple of places here, left and right on the shelves, but also over here in these pile of books you can find intel and sugar and any other stuff. Also this one and this one, but mostly people just check these 6 shelves and then they run out. If the intel is not here, then there's also a very good chance that it's actually in the filing cabinet. It would be not the first time that I open those filing cabinets that I find an intel in there. So also check those. Over here, Salewa's morphines could be there. Morphines could be anywhere on the table, or any stim for that matter, but usually morphines. Salewa's IFAX over there very often. And then another building room here. Sugar. Also, any of these shelves can have medical items. And then you jump out using the crouch. Will not break your legs normally if you do it properly. And there can be a jacket over here, which very often has decent keys. So yeah, that is like more the med and the tech crate is more on this side of the map, let's say, and then the stashes are more on the other side. Now we'll cross the river and do some stuff over there. If you find a new key called company, that is in this building, pretty much the pocket watch building. You have an overview on Smuggler's Boat. If you jump on here, you have an overview on the bridge. It's a little bit dark, but that's fine. Then you go to the next room. You have a more clear view over here, especially with a scope on the bridge. My advice this wipe, don't cross that bridge. You have people doing shooter born in heaven. You have people sitting in here with a shotgun trying to do setup. If you come into this building, be careful. If you cross that bridge over there, shooter born in heaven guys are sitting in here. They have a pretty damn good angle on it and you cannot see them from there because you're looking at dark windows from the outside. So I would advise you, don't take that bridge if you cross the river. This is a bit of a match, but it's the pocket watch, right? Now I need to see myself. It's somewhere upstairs though. Is it this building? No, it's the other building actually. Because also this one has been opened now. And you pretty much, you go up there. Somewhere above us, we cannot barely see it, but that door over there, that is the company key. Oh, I think I actually have it with me, so we can check it. You do have to go to this stairs, because the other stairs only goes one level up, this one goes 2 levels up. I believe it's needed for the quest. In a way, it's a good room. You have a duffel bag, you have a med crate, weapon crate, another weapon crate, filing cabinets. There are 2 safes. There's only one problem with the safes. Both of them are locked. So unless there are some new keys to actually unlock those, that's possible, or they are just bait safes. There are some bait safes in the game where they're trying to, people who try to loot with wall hacks or something, they're trying to trigger them by putting in some things, and if that thing gets looted, then they have them. Some more stuff over here, toolboxes you can find in pretty much every of these. And you can climb out of every window and every door. These buildings are a little bit of a rat hole now. So if you play as a scav, I would pretty much avoid all this area. Because there are so many angles from these 2 buildings from inside that you very likely gonna get shot. There's probably somebody sitting in there either doing shooter born in heaven or trying to do setup. So if you play as a scav and you want to get out with all your loot that you found in all those stashes and tech crates and whatnot, I would not advise you, even late raid, I wouldn't advise you to cross there. RUF over here, Santa can hang out here very often, I've noticed on this map. I ran into a couple of times, he's usually hanging out around here on this map. There could be a stash under that pipe over there. There is a double stash over here, in the bush. As you can see. Potentially, sometimes they will not be here, obviously. But yeah, you can see they are worth picking up. This is a pretty good rig. There's quite a bit of space, and it's a level 6 armor class. That's why you check the stashes on customs. And there's a bucket next to it as well. Now it is very possible that none of them is here, or that only one of them is here. That is all very possible. Tool sets, motors, you name it, it can all be in there. Now, if you do have to cross the river, I would advise you go through the middle one. Because why not? You have the trees here, the bushes sort of covering you, and there's also a stash in this bush potentially. So you can, on your way crossing, you have a little bit of protection from these trees. There it's pretty open. On top there, we just saw that's very dangerous with the new angles that you have there. So I would not advise you doing that. Now, as long as the Christmas trees are here, I would could also check those. Because there are 3 on this side. There's one in Big Red, there's one in the garages, and there's one in the cabins, which people haven't figured out yet. Because that thing is very often not looted. That's a bad mistake to make. Because that actually has a high value spawn. I already found a Bitcoin there. This cabin has filing cabinets and a med crate. This side, especially if you play as a scav very late in the game, in the raid, you can pretty much do whatever you want here. Not many people are crossing the river to cross to extract. Multi-tools and things are spawning in there. And then we go to the garages, where I will point out a few specific things. Which some people don't know. I see people run through these garage things and then I think like, what are you guys doing? 2 weapon crates here, a jacket. The jackets are dynamic here though. On customs, so very often they are not there. Check the boot. Very often guns are good ammo in here. It seems to be that you do have to crouch now to be able to loot it, which was not the case before. Before you could loot standing it up, but that doesn't work anymore for some reason. Over here, check the mattress. Can have a loot spawn, it can have a duffel bag. I found lead axes here already. Over there could be a dead body, it's not there. Also the dead bodies on this map are now dynamic. I'm testing, my guess is they're testing the whole dynamic system on this map. Over here, another one of those. Check this. This could be pretty much anything. Could be cobdums, could be lead axes, it could be bitcoins, it could also just be a power cord or whatever. But it is a loose spawn in here. Very often high value. Streamers items, whatnot. Over here we have 2 weapon crates and a jacket in box number 108. Corner can have a weapon crate. Like in this case, you see how dynamic it is? There's none of the 3 are here, but it is potentially. We'll go further, but I will go around. For specific reasons. Box number 100, I think it is. Yep, box number 100. This one can have weapon repair kits or armor repair kits. The same goes for box number 76. Can also have armor or weapon repair kits. Over there on the table or on the ground even, I think. Then over here is another Christmas tree. As long as they're around, you can always check them. Presents around it, like you can see, a white Christmas bowl. Apparently the story with the white Christmas bowls is that one spawns in for every player on the map. So if there are 10 players on the map, there are 10 white balls on the map. You need 30. There is also a snowman here. Next to the snowman can also spawn all kind of stuff. And then they have opened this, whatever it is, box number 11. They've opened this. This is a new quest for mechanic. You need to pick up some special tool set, which can be 4 or 5 different spawns in that garage. In my case, it was below here, behind the truck, that I had to pick it up. But I even couldn't pick it up from this side. I have to jump over here in the corner there and then could grab it that way. I saw immediately one of the first raids of this wipe that this thing was open. I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't open before. But now I know why. Meanwhile, I came to that quest. One of the mechanics quests. More annoyingly is that this medbag, which was always here, is now also dynamic. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it isn't. It's quite annoying, especially if you have been in a fight. On the big red side, this was always a way to get some extra mechs, but now half the time it's not here. Seen also the computers in the med bags, a couple of duffel bags in here as well. And then I guess we'll check over here. If you have the portable cabin key, the normal portable cabin key, that's down here. Upstairs there, I think there are 3 jackets in here. Let's see if that still is the case. 2, yeah, they're probably also dynamic. That's the normal cabin key because there are 2. You also have that one from Skier for the quest. That one is over there. That's on that parking lot. As you can see, horses, gifts again around this snowman, and then yeah, there is a Christmas tree. I see some. I saw it the other day. Some streamers like, oh, snowman, they loot that up and then they run away instead of going up here where there is another Christmas tree. And this one has a high value spawn. In this case, it's a vase. I found a Bitcoin here. I found rollers here. Golden skulls. This time it's a vase. Duffel bag can be here. Duffel bag can be there. So yeah, all those items that you need for your scav case, whatever it is, like golden skulls, a couple of lions, a couple of cats, all that kind of stuff. We're out of energy by the looks of it, but that's okay. Because we have trailer park over here. And behind the wall is the transit to interchange though, for those who are doing the Korovat mode. So yeah, this time we had more techs and some med stuff and some random stuff because we did stashes as well. And that will be pretty much it. Looking for hideout stuff, but I saw some videos come by and I thought like, nah, I don't agree with that. If you do a loot guide, Mr. Pestily, even after all these years of your experience, and you send people to the underground of reserve, where you need 4 different keys, which none of us have because you can't find keys anywhere. Of course, there are med crates and there are tech crates over there. That's why I decided to do completely 2 other maps than what he suggests, especially for that reason. We've done a streets run where we showed you about 15 computers in 3 buildings which are pretty much next to each other. We found a GPU, we found some other stuff in there, all the CPU pans and SSDs and 1001 filing cabinets, more specifically, I don't know exactly. At one point I counted them last wipe, I think it were more than 140. But they probably added a few here and there, so probably more than 150 filing cabinets on streets. And then we have the computers. So yeah, computers, filing cabinets, just go streets. Scav on streets, take your time. Especially early in the raid, if you spawn in pretty early, stay away from post office, check 15 and car dealer, because that's where the PMC, they're trying to find caban and whatnot. They're trying to find all the good loot with their keys that they have. That's all fine. Just let them do their thing. You do the pharmacies, pick up your Linuxes on the outside as a scav. 10 to 12 Linuxes last wipe I found on my scav on streets. Just doing the school and the 3 pharmacies. Not in every raid you do those 4 buildings, just depending where you spawn, where you are. Just go along that. If you spawn somewhere on Cardinal, check that pharmacy. It is worth it. There are 5 to 6 medbags if you're lucky. If you have bad luck, it could only be 3 or 4 because they're dynamic, but very often you get 5 or 6 in that pharmacy. It can have Linuxes. The school can have 5 or 6 medbags, can have Linuxes. And the same goes for the other pharmacies. If you're more later into the raid, with like let's say with 10 minutes to go, then it's not likely you're still going to run into PMCs. Then you can also run post office where there are more computers and filing cabinets. You can also do the other pharmacy over there, which has another 5-6 medbags, computer as well. You can do the archives, which has about 30 archives filing cabinets in one building. There are a couple of stashes around there as well, which you can check. Early game, you can obviously not check those stashes because then there are so many angles there from the buildings, from check 15, from archives, from the Zemelia apartments. Yeah, you don't want to run stashes there at that moment, but if it's in the last 10 minutes of the game, take your time. If you have an extraction nearby, which you usually do, either you have Cardinal or you have near Kamskatskaya, or if you found the code I think the code for streets is Onyx. If you find a piece of paper with Onyx on it, then you can actually extract on the basement descent. The exfil used to name, now it's called Smuggler's Basement, I think, but it is the basement descent from before. But you need to have the right code, because I got mission in action once or twice. I'm standing on the extraction, handing over the code, and it does the 15-second countdown, and I was still on the map. So you need to have the right code. The code for customs is, in Cyrillic, it is BOPOH, and you read that as Voron in Cyrillic, and that's the code for customs. If you have that code, you can extract on Smuggler's Boat or ZB1012. If you have any other code, it's very possible that you do not extract. On streets, it's basement descent, and the code is Onyx. If you have Onyx, you can extract there. But there are different codes around, so if you have the wrong code, you will not extract. And that's how I got mission in action. I was sort of pushing it one raid with the time, and I ran into the basement descent. I had the code with me, but it was some Russian code. It was not Onyx that raid. You will find a lot of codes in those filing cabinets sometimes for the new exfil, the private exfil sorta. But just you need to learn which code is valuable, because they are not all valuable. Which means you extract and you don't extract, you're still on the map. And then if you only have 30 seconds left, yeah, there's no time to go to another extraction. So you go missing in action. I think we had that one so far. Yeah, one missing in action with our scav. That's because of the coded exfil, which apparently we had the wrong code. Well, before the raid before that, or two raids before that, when I was doing another scav run, I also had a code, and I went to that private exfil and I just extracted, no problem. Either I thought maybe it's bugged, maybe it's like, but it's no. I had it a few days later. I had it happening on customs on the Smuggler's Boat as well. I found the code. I go to the Smuggler's Boat. It's extract, and there I was. It didn't want to extract me. I think it was ZB1012, I think, but it didn't want to extract me. But that time I still had enough time to actually get out. But yeah, as you can look at the numbers, we have 85 scav rates, 74%. I focus on extracting with the things that we need for our hideout on my scav. That's why we have a high percentage. On the PMC, I just try to get that mission done. I don't care for anything, which means if we look at the PMC, it's probably 20% or so, 25% survival rate. Way less, obviously. Overall, that gives you about 50% survival rate. As a solo player, that's not that bad. Given the fact that you run into duos and trios and quads sometimes. So I would say if you need computer or medical stuff, go to streets. If you need tech or just general loot from stashes, go to customs. 65 stash locations on customs. They're not all there, but 65 is a lot, right? So you will always have a few on your path somewhere. Just check them. Just check them. That's why you have and also what you have on customs is that you can find a game on your scav within 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half. You're in the game. Streets, 7-8 minutes or longer is not an exceptional thing at the beginning of a wipe especially. Later on, let's say after 1 month into the wipe, then I only scav on streets, because the loot in general is good enough as it is. So yeah, and then you find these kind of things. Tank battery. I found a tank battery on woods, I found a tank battery on customs. The one on woods was on USIC and I had to go to outskirts, I decided not to pick it up. The one on customs we found in the sand sleigh, and we had scav checkpoint as our extraction, so although I had to drop my backpack 7 or 8 times, I actually decided to pick it out. You need one for a quest for proper, but I believe you also need one for hideout now. I'm not sure where that is though. Or maybe it was hideout and the wiki says that you need one found in raid, but maybe they combined the hideout and the quest. Didn't make much sense to me. Or there is a new station that I don't know of where you actually need a tank battery. Or maybe for the stash or so, but yeah, I have the highest edition, so I have stash on level maxed out. I don't need to upgrade my stash. So yeah, this is sort of the kind of things. The Nixers, they are all coming from filing cabinets from streets. The helixes, most of them as well. Defuel, tech crates on customs. Ophthalmoscopes, med crates, or very often in the stashes as well. The defib we crafted on med station. We are slightly starting to craft them because we need 5 in total, I think. You need a few for crisis or private clinic, and then you need later on you need another 2 for lightkeeper, I think. So you need 5 in total, found in raid, but you can craft them in your med station. The LEDX I crafted on the Christmas tree just in time yesterday. I crafted it because I'm guessing that somewhere during this day or tomorrow the Christmas tree will be gone. They never tell us, but it's usually around the 7th or the 8th of January that the Christmas tree in your hideout disappears. And I'm assuming that they will also remove the Christmas villages and everything of those Christmas trees that we just checked now. So yeah, those are the kind of things. Green batteries, mostly filing cabinets. On the streets as well. Computer stuff on the computers. I just showed you computers on streets. We find most of those things also on customs if they are there, but also on customs the computers are dynamic now. So I'm thinking they are testing the whole dynamic system because we have everything dynamic now on customs. You have the stashes, the car, jackets, med crates, computers. It's all dynamic. One raid they will be there, another raid they will not be there. On streets they are not dynamic. Computers in those 3 buildings are always there. So that's why I go streets for the computer stuff, or ground zero. But ground zero there are less computers than on streets, so it's up to you. If you can go ground zero below level 20, then you can try do your computer stuff over there. Because from 1 to 20 you play with new players. As soon as you go higher than level 20, in this case I'm level 21. If I now go on a game on ground zero and I can get a game, then we're up against the 30s and the level 30s and 40s, because there are 2 different matchmaking lobbies in ground zero. You have the 1 to 20 and you have the 20 plus. So that's not ground zero, that's chat zero. Pretty much, because you're going to have high level players trying to get some stuff over there, or trying to do their shooter born in heaven or things like that. So we are now exceeded level 20, so yeah, these things, and also these things, this is more the custom box in a way, where we find all the tech rates. I am slightly collecting owls. I think that's another thing that is going to go very high in price, because it's needed for a couple of barters and a couple of crafts. So this is one of those things that's going to be very high in price. Blood sets might have some value on the market. Syringes for sure will have value, and blue tape probably as well. Those are things that are definitely going to have a high value. What's not going to have so much value is something like a LEDX or a GPU. That's not going to have so much high value. All the LEDXs that we need to be found in raid. So unless you want to do a thick item case barter trade, which needs like 15 LEDXs, 15 defibrillators, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to get that one. So that way they might have some value, but that is later, I think. Although people do need room. Room is a bit, space is the problem at the moment. See, in the flea market, it's not available. We couldn't sell anything. We needed to keep all these things because you needed so many of them. Bolts, nuts, nails, screws. Some of those not so much, but bolts and nuts you constantly need for hideout upgrade, but also for crops. So you need to keep picking them up pretty much the first 2 months of a wipe. And then we have the 2 slot items. All these PSUs, most of them come from the computers, from streets, power cords as well, tool sets, motors. I already used a bunch. I think I had 8 motors, but we still need more though. Drills is now slightly a problem. Now I need drills and I need more tool sets. So I need to run more of the tech rate potting, let's say. The rest we have pretty much sitting, and then over here we have some valuables. Cats, yeah, you could. I already sold a bunch of cats. You could find so many on the Christmas trees. He says they can be found in airdrops, more specifically in the. I don't know if I still have purple ones. Probably somewhere. There's you have the firework flares, which are the purple background. they actually are festive. The lion is coming out of one of those, the Aisa is coming out of one of those. Teapots, we found in some safes here and there. We already had more because I already have a dog case or two. So we already barter traded with therapists for a dog case, which is 1 cat, 1 lion and 4 horses. I could potentially get another one, as you can see here. I've also have these items locked in my boxes so that it's not used for quest or craft or something. If you pin things with the pin function over here, if you pin them, they will be used. If you lock them, they will not be used. If you look in your hideout and it says like you need 1 Aisa, it's gonna say 0 out of 1 because I have it locked. If I would unlock this one, then it's gonna say I have 1. If I pin this one, then it's still gonna say I have 1, and it's gonna use that. You can also move things if you have them pinned. They will be pinned if you sort the box. It will always stay here, but you can move it. If you lock it, it doesn't move, and it will also not move when you sort it. That's sort of the difference. If you don't want things to be used, what am I sitting in here with? Yeah, we have so many boxes that I put too many things in this box here, by the looks of it. These are supposed to be valuables. The other benefit that you have, if you lock the bigger items, you can always just sort, and it will just sort the top rows and not the bottom. But there's also another one like this one here. I can sort this whole lot, but I can still lock the lytics, for instance, and then you do the lock away. So now I can sort this like 100 times. That lytics will always stay here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be staying here, but I need to be sure that it doesn't use it for anything else than my med station. So whenever I need it, I will unlock it, and then I go to med station and upgrade it. The same with the tank battery. I have that locked so that it doesn't use it, for instance, for prepper when you need it for something else or whatever. The only thing which is not found in raid is this military flash drive, but I keep it. And I keep it for the barter trade with Jaeger for the dog tag case. So I had 1 found in raid military flash drive, which is needed for the dog tag. If I find a video cassette, I can get another dog tag case. So even a non-found in raid military flash drive is still usable. That's like the only thing which is not found in raid in my boxes, I think. The rest is and then yeah, the rest, who knows where we have it sitting. This magazine case is full, but I think we crafted another one overnight. We did. Gunsmiths are also a little bit of things that you need to pay attention to. Why did it unlock my mag case? Streamers items, we're doing pretty okay. I haven't run that much street because of the longer queuing times. I've run mostly customs. But I'm not missing much though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're missing 8 streamers items. And some of them we already had. I had John B, but I lost it. I had the Better Book. No, Better Book I haven't seen yet, but I haven't run that many saves yet. The video cassette we had, but we lost it. And then from the 1 slot items we are missing the Danexert key, the Fire Steel, the Fire Clean, the Gingy keychain, which I already had but I lost it, and Summit 1G phone. I have not seen that one yet, so about, yeah, 5, 6, 7, something like that. But normally I run more streets, and then we find those things usually in the stashes over there. Evasion armband, this time it comes from a duffel bag, I think, from customs, but normally you find several on the stashes in streets. If you check the stashes over there on your way out, all of those keys here, they pretty much come from 2 raids of customs, of streets, filing cabinets. I found 10 different keys in 1 raid of my scav of streets. So filing cabinets on streets is definitely the way, and they are not only street keys. We found East 306, West 306, West 216, the cottage safe room for reserve, Ollie Logistics, Marin key, RB Orb 3, all found in street filing cabinets. So that's another reason why you want to run those filing cabinets, because those are actually spawning keys, unlike the jackets. The jackets on customs are half the time not there, because also they are now dynamic, and they do not not spawn many keys. There are a few things specifically. Pharmacist, a lot of people were stuck on 114. You don't need a key. Apparently it is lootable through the window from the outside. If you find the right pixel, you can loot it. You don't need that key. If you're stuck on that quest, try to loot it from the outside. So yeah, that's that. Other than that, sugar. I kept one rig full of sugar, but I don't think that thing is going to have much value. The sugar was spawning so much around the Christmas trees that everybody is sitting with rigs or boxes full of sugar to make their moonshine. So I think it will take a long time before the price of the sugar will actually go up. Other than that, chuchonkas, that's for therapists. The herring, tarcola, squash, and hot rods, they will have value because you need that food bag from Jaeger. That is the barter rate for it. Over here we just have some meds for ourselves. Come up the stims, also there. We got a 3 BTG already, and some other stims, which some of them are needed for samples. Then we have gunsmith specifics. Gunsmith number 1, once you have Jaeger on level 2, you can pretty much do it. It's not that hard. You just need a sprut, a TBL blue laser, and that's about it, I think. You don't need the muzzle brake anymore. And you also don't need the plastic rail. If you can find a sprut to attach the TBL laser on it, then you don't need the plastic rail. If you do need the plastic rail, a barter rate with mechanic is available. Gunsmith number 2, the main problem there was the 60 round mag. Was not so much of a problem this wipe, because we had the Christmas dinner quest, which gave you 3 founding rate 60 round mags. So you could do gunsmith number 2 very quickly. Gunsmith number 3 is the MP5. Once you have Peacekeeper on level 2, you can get all the parts you need. I think most of them you can just buy. You pretty much need to convert that MP5 into an MP5 SD. So you need the upper receiver, the handguard, the suppressor, and the 3-reel mount. And you can get that all from, you can just buy that from Peacekeeper level 2. Once you're level 14, you will get him to level 2. If you spend enough money with him, you can buy those 4 parts, and the 50 round mag is a barter rate for a fuel conditioner. So that's pretty much gunsmith number 3. Gunsmith number 4, I'm gonna keep it very simple. You go to Rev, you have an OPSKS, which has a suppressor, which has a sighting range, which has a 20 round mag. The ergonomic and the recall numbers are correct. 28 GP coins, you turn in gunsmith number 4. Buy it from Rev. Don't bother with looking for the suppressor or whatever, and try, because there is one, I think it's a skier quest. He gives you an OPSKS, but then you need to adjust it a little bit, and then we need to find those specific parts. Don't bother with it. Rev. 28 GP coins. If you do the provide viewership, where you need to place 4 cameras in customs, in the new industrial building, you place 4 cameras, you kill 15 targets, AI or players, in that building. Then that quest is done, you get 45 GP coins, which means you have enough to buy this OPS SKS. There are some more things. He has an AKM as well for 28. He has a AK-105 with all kind of Zenith parts. With all kind of parts that you need, and the PP-19 with all kind of Zenith parts, which you also need for certain gunsmiths. So keep an eye on him. And I only have him on level 1 because I'm stuck on the stupid beer with that quest. Because we did the this one here. Place 4 cameras, kill 15 skills. It gives you 150 bullets of 855A1, 32,000 XP, and you get 47 GP coins. So that's enough to buy that gunsmith quest, next to the fact that it gives you a lot of XP and 150 really good bullets. The problem that we have with him here is this thing, of course. We found 3 beers in 10 days. And I don't have med station on nutrition station on level 3, so I cannot craft my beers. That will give you another 27 coins. So yeah, there are ways if you can get to ref to get GP coins without having to play Arena. I have not booted up Arena this wipe at all. Gunsmith number 5 was a shotgun, 870 I think. And you can get most of these things from mechanic with barter trades. Yeah, the 870, the Magpul 870 handguard I think it is, or whatever it is, one rechargeable battery. And then the other one is the stock, which needs 2 AA batteries and a D battery. That's pretty much all you need. The rest you can get from Jaeger. You either buy the cylinder with the GKO2 or the Remington muzzle brake to get some numbers down, and then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much Gunsmith number 5. I am now at the moment on Gunsmith number 6. Because of course not having flea market means we cannot buy those parts for those gunsmiths, so the gunsmiths are also not going that great. Gunsmith number 6, you need to build an AKM, but it needs specifically a Fortis grip. I would advise you go to this. That's why I have these things sitting in here. There we go. 5 DVDs, 5 UV lamps and 2 weapon parts gives you the MPX from mechanic, and it has the Fortis grip on it, the Fortis foregrip, which is required for Gunsmith number 6. So I need one more UV lamp, then I can do this barter trade, then I can do Gunsmith 6. Then Gunsmith 7, I think is the one with all the Zenith parts, so you can get from mechanic. I think he has that PP19 as well, unless they moved that thing to rep only. Can't immediately see it. But there are some interesting barter trades available here, right? Like this thing here. This thing has a Sprott on it. This is pretty much Gunsmith number 1, I think. It also has a Remington on it. So you could use that, for instance. You don't need that for Gunsmith 1, so you could take it off and then use it on the 870. That barter trade is not... 2 elite pliers and a red screwdriver. It's not that big of a deal. You can get... with the yellow pliers and nippers and the red pliers, you can get an elite plier. So you can sort of play around with these things. Get your elite pliers from this thing, which you can find in any toolbox, and most people do not pick up the yellows or the reds. So get the nippers, they might pick up because there is 3 nippers is a barter trade with Jaeger for a CMS. So that might be a thing. But you can get your elite pliers over here, which you can then use to get the MP133 shotgun. It has a foregrip on it. It has a flashlight on it, which you don't immediately need specifically. But it has the Magpul tactical foregrip black, which is needed for one of the gunsmiths, the one which you have to have all black Magpul parts. This AFG black here, right here, is on this shotgun. You have the Remington, which you can use on the 870 build for the gunsmith. And then the gunshot itself, it's pretty much Gunsmith number 1 if you haven't done any gunsmiths. But take off some parts, you don't need everything. So the other parts you can use for the other one, right? You also have the M870 here. 4 weapon parts and 2 power banks. That pretty much gives you a Gunsmith number 5 gun. And then you can adjust it a little bit, take some things up that you don't need, which might be used, because now we are on a point where for gunsmiths where we are sort of I think it's dit back, yeah, it's full of gunsmith parts, and then we have some more sitting here over here, some loose parts that we need later on. So yeah, you need to all stock it in somewhere here now. Guns, yeah, also here a big problem here. AK-101 and AK-102s were spawning all over the place, especially in Santa Slays. But you can't even get a magazine for it. Level 1 traders, you cannot get a magazine for a 5.56 gun. Not to mention the ammo that you cannot get. So I think that's probably the reason why they were spawning all kind of 5.6 guns all over the place, because you couldn't get any decent ammo, nor could you get max for it. With a bit of strange. I already sold a bunch of 101s and 102s because of that reason. Now we have the traders a little bit higher, I can get a mag for it, but at the time I couldn't. So yeah, we have some MP7s in here, found also mostly in the Santa Sleigh. That thing spawns 4 or 5 guns every raid. On customs it's always behind Newcastle, on woods it's on the Sunken Village, and I'm assuming every map had a Santa Sleigh, but I mostly played customs, woods and streets so far this wipe. Not sure where the sleighs are on the other maps. We have our 2 Black Rocks already. We have about 10 of these figurine things. Are they important? In a way they are. You need a Founding Raid Killa helmet. You can turn this Killa figurine into the cultist circle and they will return with the helmet. The Rishala, if you need a golden TT pistol, you hand over this thing to the cultist circle, they will bring back a Founding Raid golden TT pistol. Tagilla, the same story. So there are certain recipes with these figurines that you can put in the cultist circle. They will bring back the item that you need for the quest. Which means that you could potentially shoot with a good bullet. You could shoot Killa, for instance, from a distance. You don't even need to bother to go over there and loot him. If you have one of these Killa figurines, you can get the helmet that way. And you need to turn in the helmet for the quest. So the same with Rishala. You can snipe him from miles away. You don't need the golden TT pistol. If you have this figurine, give it to the cultist circle. They will come back with a golden TT pistol. The only one that I don't have at the moment is Tagilla, I think. I found all of these figurines in and around the Christmas trees areas or snowmen. Over here, this is all Ragman, pretty much. There's those 2 backpacks. It's all Ragman. Gazelles, fuel conditioners, cowboy hats, Ushankas, paracords, all that stuff that you need to place on wood. The round glasses, the ray branch, the shemak, the smashka. But that is, of course, yeah, if you're a new player, you have no idea what you need to keep and what not. That's a bit of a problem. If you play a few wipes, you know, we need a couple of bags. The Pilgrim bag itself is also for Ragman. So yeah, that's what these 2 bottom ones are here. So we needed to stock it somewhere. Respirators, we need 4. I think it's Ragman or Peacekeeper, it needs 4. We had some decent headsets that we are keeping. Weapon repair kit, I haven't found an armor repair kit yet. We have some spare, I've found the RSS, gunsmith number 13. You need skier level 4, I think it is, before you can actually buy it. So yeah, if you find the RSS, otherwise you're going to be stuck on gunsmith number 13 for quite a while. But we were lucky to find one pretty early actually. We have some decent rigs, level 6 armor over here, level 4 helmets, level 4 headsets in a way. Comtax 5, we have some Comtax 6, we have some razors, swordins we can just buy now. And here we are, one more UV lamp and then I can barter trade for the MPX for Gunsmith 6. So that we have that 40s, the Gunsmith 6 is an AKM but it needs a 40s grip and Mechanic has one sitting on the MPX, so that's why I'm trying to, for 5 UV lamps, 5 DVDs, you can get that Gunsmith 6 out of the way. That's sort of where we are. I don't know what I'm here. Oh yeah, some meds and some... that's another story. Crates is a bit of a problem. We need a few more levels to get a Therapist on level 3, then I can just buy a med crate for 500,000 or whatever it is. At this moment you need to get this. This is one reason why the syringes will be very expensive on the market. Next to the fact there are some other barter trades with syringes and there are also some craft with syringes. So syringes probably also the hardest to find. Vaseline also not that easy, but you can find Vaseline from time to time in a med crate. Med tools are all over the place. Blood sets you find rather all around at the moment. The syringes are the hardest ones. We already used a bunch and yeah, I'm down to 1 now, as you can see. Whenever I had enough, then I needed to use them in my hideout, so I couldn't do the barter trade for the med crate because otherwise we were stuck on hideout. So I had to go for med station upgrade instead of getting the med crate. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. And for the food crate, sort of similar story, more or less. We have the herring, we have one more hot rod needed, and Tarcola we a few times with that frostbite bullshit, which is not only lowering your stamina but also is killing your energy while you're going. You actually sometimes have to drink things that you actually need. Otherwise you don't make it out, you know? So I had to drink a cola a few times, I had to eat the squash a few times, so And then we needed it again for some craft for the Iskras, which I couldn't find, which also requires squash. So also squash will have a very high value on the market. The same as syringes, the same as blue tape, which is also needed for certain hideout upgrades and specific crafts, which a lot of people are gonna do. So those are things, if you find those, pick them up. They will have, whenever the market is available, tomorrow I think. Yeah, something like that. Either today or tomorrow it will be available. That's sort of all that I can give you at the moment when it comes down to looting. So yeah, I showed you where I get all these things. Pretty much in 2 runs. We did a, let's say, a scaff run on streets, although we did a PMC offline run, but those are the routes that I take by going on a scaff on streets. I try to get to that astronaut bar, archives building, and do all those computers there, and then check the 1 or 2 or 3 of the pharmacies, depending on how quiet or what's happening on. You can hear what's going on, right? There's a lot of shooting on post office. Don't go to that pharmacy. That's stupid. Then just loot the school, which also have 5-6 mixed bags, or go to all the way back in the Cardinal and do that pharmacy. You can get your Redexes there, you can get your defibrillators there, you can get your morphines there. Now I don't worry too much about defibrillators because I'm just crafting them. You need, I think, 5 or 6? I think 5. I think you need 5 in total, found in raid. Couple for therapists, for crisis or private clinic, and then later on you need another 2, I think, for therapists. So what is the defib? It takes 5 hours. You need a power bank, you need a some wires, some magnets, and a tool set, which you will get back after the craft. So the tool set is just, you can just use it. 5 hours later you will get that tool set back, so you do not lose that tool set. And capacitors and wires you can craft. So you basically need to find magnets and power banks, and you can do this craft. You need 5. Normally I already have them by now. Another reason why you need a syringe is right here. This is exactly what I will do. That's another reason. Meds and syringes will have high value because of the morphines. A lot of people, I have noticed, including myself, are stuck on painkiller from therapist, which is 4 morphines. Later on, you need another 4 morphines for Peacekeeper. So, yeah, if you can get the components, start crafting them because they are very rare. A lot of people are stuck on it, which means that if there are morphines on the map, whoever finds them will pick them up, no doubt about it. And for that reason, meds, although you can craft your meds yourself, so especially syringes, which you cannot craft, syringes will have high value. They will have high value because of the barter trade with therapists for the med crate, and they will have high value because of this craft here, because a lot of people are stuck on the morphines. And they cannot just buy morphine from the market because it all needs to be found in raid now. Not only the quest, but also the hideout stuff. So there will be some items. Things like bolts and nuts, they will, just like last wipe, they will have value. But there will be some items which will have extreme value now because of certain crafts or barters. Given the fact that we didn't have 2 weeks. The first few days of the flea market are going to be crazy. And the flea market becomes available on the 9th, I believe. Unless I'm mistaken and they already made it available. No, it's only barters at the moment by the looks of it. Let me quickly look. Keys. Key cards. Yeah, you can see that immediately. Only the barters are available. This is, I'm assuming, the black key card barter trade from mechanic. And this is the labs. The rest of the key cards are not available. So then you know that the market is not available. Because you know you have some looters, teleporters, whatever they are, I don't know. Some cheesers, let's put it that way. So I expect the first day of the wipe, of the flea market, I expect things to show up where like some of these Chinese names are offering 50, 114 keys or something like that for pharmacists. All of those quest keys you will see show up in bulks of 10 and 15 and 20 because they have looted all those. Wherever they can see it on their 7th screen, they have looted all those keys. That's what BSG should do. They should watch the first 2 days on the market and check the keys, see how they are offering. Some dudes are offering 15 mark rooms keys. You cannot find 15 mark rooms keys. I know very well that the first 2-3 hours of the game, some people had flea market available, resulting in that some people actually have bought certain items that they could before the flea market actually went down, but there was apparently some bug. So some people apparently had flea market for 2-3 hours. So they have, from day one, they have mark room keys because they saw it was available and they bought it immediately. And then they reset and blocked the flea market, but they didn't reset those accounts. They should have reset, when they reset the flea market, they should have wiped everybody again. That would have only taken like 15 minutes and we were just playing for an hour, so it would not be that bad. That's what they should have done to keep it fair, but they didn't. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at this. My loot guide for this wipe, early wipe, to get all your items. My advice would be tick rates and stuff like that on the stronghold area of customs. If you spawn on the other side, do your stashes over there, all over the place. There are 65 potential stashes on customs. I think at this moment in time, customs is probably the best map to loot anyway, given the fact that you can get a game within 2 minutes and a half on your scav. Streets has the better loot, but on streets you're waiting 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes or more to get in. But it's worth it, because for your computer stuff and medical stuff, it's worth it. You have the pharmacies, you have the computer buildings. You can get your graphics cards and so over there without having to go to labs and getting killed by Chow Chow and Zhuang Zhuang through the walls from 700 meters away. Then streets is a safer option to get your graphics card that way. Ledix is the same story. Just check the medbacks, especially in the pharmacy and in the school on the streets. You will find your Ledixes. The 4 you need found. I found 10 or 12 last wipe. Just running scavs on streets. And while I was there somewhere in the area, I always check the pharmacies. I always check the school. 10 or 12 Ledixes out of there. I'm not, I stay away from labs, I stay away from shoreline where people are flying through the air. I don't need to meet Harry Potters, I'm just trying to have fun and loot and get my stuff going without having to be bothered by people flying through the air. That's why you will not see me play a lot of labs and definitely yeah, shoreline, because we have to for the quest, but other than that you will not see me on that map either. You have cottages, pier and resort, and that's it. There's nothing else happening on that map, but it's a large map. You're running for 10 minutes without getting anywhere where you need to be. That's why I find streets, everything is more dense. It's a big map, but there's always, it doesn't matter where you spawn. There will be something that you're looking for will be nearby on the streets, and similar on customs. If you would focus on looting on customs and learn all the stashes, Mr. Pestily. Instead of sending us to factory where there is hardly any loot, or to reserve where you need keys to get into those things that he mentions from those the cages, basically underground on a hermetic. Very good. You find all those things in those crates, but you need the 4 keys. Nobody has the 4 keys at this moment. Another one of those which will be very expensive on the market. The quest keys. But you can get your stuff together. I'm already wearing a gazelle because I think I already found 4 or 5 gazelles. Since a day or 2, also the black rocks are short. Because yeah, they did a patch where they changed the loot in general, also on scabs. So you can find normal scabs now. We are wearing black rocks and so, since a day or 2 I think. So you can find your black rocks for gazelle, for Ragman. Both of them are needed. So you can also craft your black rock if you want. You also find more headsets all over the place. Comtac 5, Comtac 6, razors, just on a normal scav. Especially late. The longer you stay in the raid, the more better gear the scavs seem to have, or the tougher they are, depending on how you want to. But if you can get one of those, you usually get better gear. So all those rush grinders, which are in and out, 10-12 minutes maximum on their PMC and then they're out because they don't want to run into the players' caps. That is another reason why you should loot on your scav. There are a lot of rush grinders and they are out after 15 minutes, and then you spawn in as a player's scav and most of the PMCs are gone, so you can do your own thing. That's my loot guide. Computer, medical stuff, I would say go streets and do those routes that we took, and anything technical and stashes and so, I would say go customs, because you get quick games on your scav. Quick games, I mean quick matchmaking. Don't do a quick game, use your all your time. That's how I do it. On my PMC I do my missions, try to get the missions done, don't bother too much with looting or any other stuff. On the scav I focus on looting and extracting. We have what was it, 80 something % survival rate. On the scav you do try to play it, take your time, stay away from the hotspots. Although the archive building, especially if you go in the last 10 minutes on streets, you can go post office and check 15, the PMCs will be gone. The only thing you're going to run into are other player scavs. Then of course, yeah, then it's can that guy or be betrayed or not, you know. Some people will always betray you. Can you trust them? Maybe now that the voice chat is working again. The VoIP was not working the first 2 days apparently. So people were talking to each other and they were like, who? This guy doesn't want to talk. Shoot him. Especially in the beginning of a wipe, you know, even PMCs, we have low gear, we can't get our hands on anything decent. So everybody looks like a scav. In the beginning it's a pretty tough to distinguish if it's a scav or a PMC. Now it becomes, we're 2 weeks into the wipe, it becomes a bit more clear. People are running around with gazelles, for instance. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at this. Our Ledex is crafted for med station level 3. So for me it's okay that they take away the Christmas tree. I don't have any Christmas balls anymore now. I used all of them on the craft. So yeah, we'll see. It's a bit of a change. Having no flea market and having found in raid items in hideout. That changed the whole early wipe in a way. Had to loot some more stuff than you, or different stuff than you normally would, because some things you didn't bother with, you would, oh, I will buy it later when I have a level 15 flea market, but no, that doesn't work anymore now. So now you need to look more for specific things, and that's these are the routes that I'm taking. Let's put it that way. That's why we made out this stream/video. I will export this to YouTube. That's sort of what I was doing. I was sort of recording it as a video. I will leave it at this because it turned out to be a 2-hour video, but we explained about the gunsmiths. Some of them are easy to get. Don't forget ref for certain gunsmith parts, because he has some decent guns sitting there. If you really need GP coins, you can always do a few rounds of arena. The dailies and weeklies give you a bunch of GP coins which you can transfer to this normal game. There's synchronization between EFT and EFT arena. Now personally I haven't booted up the game this wipe. Last wipe I played a bit of arena before we did EFT, but this wipe I didn't bother. I went immediately into EFT and I just we made it. We're level 21 or something, playing solo for about 10 days into the wipe. That's not bad. I have time. I'm not a rush grinder, I'm not rushing anything. I also find it level 1 to level 30 is the most fun in Tarkov anyway. Then it becomes a little bit tedious. Between level 30 and level 40 you need as much XP, even more XP, than you need from level 1 to level 30. So yeah, and also the quest, then you get like quests like Grenadier and Shooter Born in Heaven and things like that you need to do to get your XP going. And they are a bit more annoying than just go plant somewhere something or mark something there and jam this signal and things like that. And looting wise, I've explained it what we got. I'll leave it at this. As for this one, thanks for watching, those on the stream, and if you're on the video, also thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.